I didn't even do this video this year. I didn't have a comparison of the Note 9 to the S23 Ultra because I figured people just knew. People just knew it was time. So I focused on the Note 10 Plus because I figured that was the device that the most amount of people would be looking to upgrade from, or that would be a tougher decision this year, and it most certainly is. But then the comments started rolling in. Oh, I'm sticking with my Note 9. I'm on my second screen and my third battery. I'm going to hang on another year. I used to use this reference all the time when it came to people still using their Blackberries about the Japanese soldier who didn't surrender until 30 years after World War II ended. But I believe I should start using that for Note 9 users. And I'm coming to you as a friend, okay? I'm coming to you as somebody who absolutely loved this device and understands that there isn't a true Note left out there to buy. No one's saying it's coming back. Progress isn't always better, especially with technology, and I'm not here to masquerade this device, the S23 Ultra, as any sort of worthy Note replacement. Certainly not for those people who are hanging on to their Note 9. But much like that Japanese soldier, they had to have their commanding officer go out there and tell them to stand down. I'm coming to you as somebody who understands, and hopefully a friendly face and voice will be able to tell you that it's time to stand down. And every time I pop a SIM back in this, or power it up and start using it, I get it immediately. When you pick it up, the design of it is absolutely timeless. Fantastic fingerprint sensor on the back where it belongs. You've got the, whatever that is, the thing they don't include anymore, the blood pressure monitor with the heart rate thing at the side of the camera, which was ridiculous. It had the aperture that would open and close. Just the fantastic colors back when they gave you these metallic colors of the blue. And then you had the accent of the S Pen, the wonderful yellow as well. The design, I didn't like the curved display that they went with. I've since enjoyed the fact that they've gone away from that. But this panel certainly is not degraded over time. Samsung panels have always punched above their weight. This one is excellent. Still to look at. Quad HD, 60 hertz. Yes, that wasn't a thing back in the day, but it is absolutely brilliant to look at, even in 2023. You've got the bezel, but functional bezel. You've got your iris sensor for extra biometrics. We don't need those silly under-display fingerprint sensors or anything like that stuff. We had our irises scanned in order to get into our devices. And notification LED with a wide range of colors that would have that little breathing effect to it. That was absolutely fantastic. You had the capacitive always-on display button, so you could trigger that iris sensor without having to touch anything on the back or the side of the display. There were so many things. You had the original Samsung Pay, which you could trick this, or you could have it trick it, I guess. You could have the ancient credit card machines think that there was a magnetic strip going through it in order to use the Samsung Pay. There was a lot of things, and still are a lot of things, to like about this Note 9 that have long since gone from other generations of devices. I absolutely get it. Nobody is telling you otherwise. Nobody is trying to tell you that even the micro SD card, expandable storage that you had on this is something that you can't replace, especially at a flagship level. That's one thing that people have been holding on to for a long, long, long time. But now, for $350 that Samsung is, that they're giving you that lifeline. They're giving you one last lifeline that the Note 8 people don't get this year. And don't think that for the S24 Ultra that's going to be the same. You're going to be in the Note 8 Ultra, Note 8 position when it comes to the S24 Ultra. Getting that $200-something or whatever, if that. This is not a replacement for this, but it's what's there. And as far as what's there is concerned, you could do a whole lot worse than this guy. The panels are still gorgeous. That hasn't changed. Quad HD, 120 hertz. You'll like it. You don't need it. Nobody's telling you need it. No one's telling you it's worth upgrading and giving away your baby for. But you're going to like it just the same. Enjoy some of the creature comforts that the future has to offer. S Pen stuff, for 95% of the stuff that you're going to do, is still going to be absolutely the same. But the build is what you remember. It's not quite the same. It's not the colors. It's not the metallic. It's not the whatever. But it's better in terms of how solid it is. it's not really heavier. They're about comparable, but it's a nice build in the hand. You're going to like the flattened off edges here. You're going to like the gentler curve to the display. The Note 9, one of my biggest criticisms of the Note 9 was how dramatic the waterfall curve actually is. And this is the reason why they had to go with that software thing. It was a One UI update. I don't know if it was because of this, but it certainly helped. Where the screenshots, when you would go to screen write, had to shrink down the display or the actual screenshot that you took, so you would only write on flat areas, because if you were a Note 9 user with this dramatic curve to the display, you know when you got to that edge, you could not highlight things at the corner, and it would just be very difficult to do with any sort of precision. So that's why the screenshots would get smaller. That is not as big of an issue on the S23 Ultra because of the less dramatic curves to the display. There's a lot of things that you're going to like. The fingerprint sensor bit has changed. It's under display now, but it's snappy and it's nice. It's a nice generation. It's a newer generation ultrasonic one. Those things work just well. Performance, you're really going to come out ahead. That goes without saying. All of this stuff, battery life. If you're not somebody who replaced 2 and 3 batteries on your Note 9, even if you are, the power efficiencies of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 are just absolutely wallop what the Snapdragon 845 was able to come out with back in the day. You have older RAM. Not just, it's still 8 gigs of RAM in this, which was the max that the 845 could even have back in the day, but it's slower memory, slower storage, slower, everything in this is upgraded. So you're going to enjoy that. You're going to get the added performance and benefits of that, and you're still going to get representative value for your Note 9. Do your Note 9 the honor it deserves. Let it go out with the value it deserves. If you are somebody who trades in devices, if you're not just hanging on this for a backup phone or a secondary phone or something like that, if you are somebody who trades in devices, then make sure you're getting a proper amount of money. Privately, you're not going to get that $350, but if you could get that $350 and get this sub $1,000 because of that, this is a device with the One UI optimizations. That's another big one as well. This is going to be on Android 10. I think it's One UI 2.5 that it's stuck on. You're going to absolutely love what Samsung has done with the software on the S23 Ultra with One UI 5.1 and whatever they come out with in the future. It is buttery smooth. It is excellent. It is a proper device to upgrade from, because if you're somebody who's coming from your Note 9, you're not somebody who's upgrading every year. You're not even somebody who's upgrading every 2 years. You're somebody who's upgrading every 4 and 5 years and has duct tape on the back of this thing before you give it up. If you got to get stuck on a generation of S series with an S Pen, the S23 Ultra, in my mind, is the way to go. The S22 Ultra wasn't it. The battery life just wasn't there. And the S24 Ultra, who knows? You know, it's year to year. You never know what you're going to get from generation to generation. But this one, I can tell you from use, is an okay one. It's a good one to get stuck on for multiple years if you're somebody who is not going to give up your device. Plus, you get the added camera optimizations and all that goes with that, the flexibility of the lenses. The aperture thing was cool back in the day. This is a potato. All right, maybe not a potato, but it's still a root vegetable, I promise. This is an excellent camera system, the versatility, the zoom, all the rest of it. So, I understand it's not your Note. It's not going to replace it. They can put an S Pen in it. They can make it boxy as they want with the design. It's not your Note, and I get it. But just be calm. Do yourself a favor. Click the link in the description. All right? Just head on over there. No commitment. You don't have to push the button. Try the trade-in offer for size. Try it on for size. See if it feels all right. It's not going to feel excellent. It's not going to sit right in your stomach or your heart. And while progress, like I said, is not always better, and might not be the right thing to do, in most cases, if you want a Samsung flagship to replace your Note 9, it might be the only thing to do. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, headphone jack as well. RIP. Have that Steve-licious day.